what is the concept we have started yesterday? It's the user maintenance activity we have started here. So in this user maintenance activity only, yesterday we have seen some of the activities in this way. So firstly, I introduced you to the how the SAP server look like. What is the command field we are having here, and how to implement transaction codes. Later we have seen the implementation of the SU01. And what are the mandatory fields to create a SAP user ID? Any one of you? What is the mandatory field to create a SAP user ID? So it's the last name and the password. So last name and password are the mandatory fields to create a SAP user ID in this way. So does it, so what is the things you are doing? You give the last name and password. At least these two information will be required to create a SAP user ID in this way. So does it mean that in SAP system, so you can just create multiple user IDs, like you are the one who give the password. First suppose, so first suppose tomorrow when you are joining the project here in this way. So tomorrow when you are joining in the project, over the time you are going to create plenty of user IDs in this way. So what are you going to do? You are going to create something like plenty of SAP user IDs in your project in this way. So does it mean that if at all, for suppose as a admin, you forget your own user ID, you can utilize any other user ID which you have created? Some of you must get this doubt here. So as a admin, I am creating so many user IDs so that I can utilize whatever user ID I required in the project. No, it won't work in this way. The logic is not going to work in this way. So what is going to happen here is, if at all you want to, if at all you want to utilize any of the password here, the password is not going to be same. You have no idea about the password which the user is having. So what is this logic here? We are creating the user ID, but I am saying you cannot utilize the password. So what is the logic here? So the logic here is so simple. So whatever the password you are giving to a SAP user, it is called as the initial password. So what it is called? Whatever the password you are providing for a user ID, it is called as a initial password. And what is the validation it is having is, it is going to have validation of only one time. How many times it is having the validity? It is going to have only validity for one time. Or in simple words, you can say the password set by the administrator is called as a initial password. Initial password, and it is a one time password you are going to have. What is this one? It is called as a one time password. You can utilize this password only for first time login purpose. So any SAP user can utilize this password only for the first time login purpose in this way. After that, the password will be automatically expired here in this way. So if the password which we provided is expiring immediately after the first time, what is going to happen here is, every SAP user can set their own password. So in any SAP system, after first time login, every SAP user can set their own password in this way. So what is the password they can set here? So after first time login, for suppose I created you a SAP user ID, I have provided you initial password. After you log in, what you are going to do here is you are going to set your own password while you log in the system for the first time, and that password is called as the production password. What is the second type of password you are having? It is called as the production password, which is useful for first time login purpose. Sorry, which is going to be your permanent password. So what is the concept here? Every SAP user set their own password, and it is called as a production password in this way. So this production password is going to be their permanent password. From tomorrow, every day they want to log in the system and set their own, and they want to log in the system. What is the password they will be using here is they are going to use something called as a production password here in this way. So basically, two different types of passwords you are having. One is the initial password, second one is the production password. So who will set the initial password? It is the administrators. So whatever the password administrator is setting, it is called as the one time password. Whatever the password every user set on their own, it is going to be the production password in this way. So two different things you are going to have here in this way. So let us go in detailedly about this concept here. So let us have an in detail like a practical way. Let us see practically what is the initial password, what is the production password in the real time. Let us have these things in this way. So right, so logging in the SAP system. Go to your SAP logon. So after you go to your SAP logon, provide your user ID and password. So what are you going to perform here? You are simply going to provide your user ID and the password to log in the system. Whatever is your user ID, you will be simply providing those things here in this way. So you are going to provide your user ID and password for the first time log. So firstly, to log in the system, you require a user ID and password here. So I provide my credentials. So what is the transaction code to create a user ID? It is SU01. I create a new user called admin301. Go for create option. What is the what are the mandatory fields to create a user ID? It's the last name and the password. So these are the two mandatory fields we are having. So I give one mandatory field here, something like last name. I am giving something like my name. I will be giving Krishna, and go for logon data, and I am giving an initial password. So whatever the password we provide as a administrator, it is called as the initial password. See here, the same thing happened when I go for display. See here, what is the password status? It is called as a initial password here in this way. Now what happened here is when any SAP user log in the system for the first time, what they use? They use the, so they are going to use the credentials. So what SAP is doing here? SAP is giving an automatic prompt. So SAP giving an automatic prompt here to reset the passwords here in this way. So what is happening here? SAP is recommending or suggesting to reset the password. So one should reset their password here in this way. Until and unless they give their password, the system will not allow to get access inside the system. For suppose I am rejecting to give a password. I am just saying cancel without giving a password. What is happening? The system does not allow you inside the system. So what is happening here? the system won't allow you to get access in the system in this way. So that's the whole concept you are having here. So what happens here is, if anyone want to log in the SAP system, so if anyone want to log in the SAP system, they required to set their own password. No one, if some SAP consultant is not setting their password, meaning the system won't allow you to get access into the SAP system. So now we will reset the password. I log in the system with the credentials provided by the admin, like admin 301. It's the admin 301, and the password I have given is welcome123. Now what happened? I am going to reset the password here. It's a automatic protocol which you cannot ignore here. I give some other password here in this way. Okay, I give some other password in this way and continue here. Now what is going to happen? The password is resetted here. See here, when you go back and again display, what is the password status? It is stating as a productive password. So productive password or the production password, both the things are same, no difference here in this way. So productive password or the production password, both the things are going to be same, no difference here in this way. So what exactly is happening here? Whenever you are giving an initial password, the system is automatically prompting you to reset the password here in this way. Until and unless you reset the password, you cannot proceed for the future steps in this way. So it is going to be a mandatory thing to reset the password, and the password which every SAP user ID set is called as the production password, and it's a mandatory thing here in this way. So what is going to happen? It's a mandatory thing, and your production password is going to be a permanent password. Production password or a productive password, both are same. From version to version the thing is updated, that's it. But practically speaking, both the things are same. So that's the whole concept you are going to have here in this way. So that's the whole concept you are going to have here in this way. Okay, right, clear? Password status, initial password and the production password. Okay, no questions? Right then. So future I want to more discuss about this password concept only. So I just want to add one more thing here in the password concept. So what is the thing I just want to add here is, so the thing I just want to add here is going to be, so whenever you are giving a initial password, you are having two different options here. So what is happening here? To provide a initial password to a user, you are having two different options. One is called as a manual password. So what is the first option you are having? It is going to be a manual option. So as a SAP consultant, you are going, as a SAP administrator, you are entering the password manually. That's it. What is meant by manual password? You are going to enter the password manually in the system. While creating the user ID, you enter it manually. That is called as a manual password. And the initial password can also be something called as a generated password. So what is the next option you are going to have here? It is going to be a, it is the second option you are going to have to give a initial password is generated password. So if required, you can also give the generated password in this way. So what is going to happen? You can set a, so you can set the you can set the so what is going to happen, you can even generate the initial password if required for the SAP system in this way. So let us go in detail related to this concept one by one. So I will give a generated password. Manual password we have already seen. So once again go back. Okay, so go to the SAP system, right? So go to the transaction code SU01. So while creating the user ID, I just previously given password manually. So I have given a password manually. Now when I click on generate symbol, just exactly available beside the beside the password field. So you have this generate symbol and see here a system generating the password for you. So what is going to happen here? The SAP system is going to generate the password for you in this way. So that's the whole concept you are having. So you no need to enter any password, or you don't require any of the you no need to enter the password manually. The system will perform the task for you, but you should be manually say copy this password and send to the administrator or the user who required here in this way. So for suppose a FI consultant password you are giving here, so you need to copy this password and send the same to that particular consultant in this way. So this is so and so password we have created in this way. You are just going to inform the same to them in this way. So that's the whole logic you are going to have here in this way. Okay, so that's the whole concept you are going to have here
So,
in this way.
uh,
Yes,
so what is
yes, yes,
the if the normally in the when you go for a regulatory type of at that time, every 90 days the password should be from
yes,
that password should be changed.
yes,
That is the concept is there. One concept is that way. Every
yes,
time the password should be changed after 90 days or uh, when once the user initially log in with the password and then he can set his own password. How this can
yes.
be done? What is
See,
the
every user is going to set their own password.
yeah?
Okay, that is the production password. So,
Mm.
whatever the protocol which you are saying, like for
Yeah,
every 30 days, or for every 60 days, or for every 90 days, that is the production password only. The production password should be resetted. So, one cannot use the same password for plenty of time. So in some projects it will be like 30 days, in some project it is going to be 90 days, in some projects it is going to be 60 days in this way. It is totally depending from different from one project to another project in this way. So all the thing is their production passwords will be again resetted. So here the point to be noted here is whenever we reset the password, it is going to be again changing into initial password. That's it.